Hello folks. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Factstein. Please like, share and subscribe. Hello folks, welcome to Factstein Movie Review Center. I am Luba. Today I am going to review about the new movie which was released this year, Escape Room. Only two of the Escape Room champions, Zoe and Ben, appeared in the most recent chapter, from 2019. The others, a group of traumatized people who, unlike Ben and Zoe, thought they'd gotten away from it all, were all winners in their own death trap tournaments, making them all miserable survivors of a game they never chose to play in the first place. What distinguishes Ben and Zoe, especially Zoe, is that they were brought here to expose this heinous business, expecting to pull back the curtain, gather evidence, and prove to the rest of the world that this corporate nightmare exists. That isn't to say they didn't wish to be imprisoned in the game once more. But there would be no sequel if not for that horrible twist. The Escape Room films are at the very least entertaining to watch, since they take a harmless pastime and push it to its most horrifying, life or death conclusions. Some individuals, daily, highly competitive, zealous sorts, already treat games like these as if they were life and death situations. So these films say, okay, let's do it. Bring on the acid rain. Bring on the quicksand. You want a countdown clock at the conclusion of which your own unknown doom will be spelled out? Please sign here. The films are tried and true thriller vehicles. Every challenge has the risk of someone dying simply because they aren't bright enough to survive. Unfair? Surely. Rude? Absolutely. Is it deserving of a sequel? Well, Tournament of Champions has the distinct odor of a younger sister attempting to outdo its elder without succumbing to total repetition or breaking the familiar mold that brought people to the theater in the first place. It's a soothing variant on an unsettling idea, and it mostly delivers on that promise. For the most part, the cast is diverse. Inda Moore, Thomas Cockerell, Carlito Olivero, and Holland Roden join Russell and Miller in a variety of obstacles ranging from electrified subway vehicles to a replica of New York City streets drenched in acid rain. Yes, it's all absurd, with contestants recalling which materials are electrical conductors, which can survive particular chemicals, and what the strange meanings of the game's goofy riddles are on the spur of the moment, all with, wait, I've got it, attitude that is both amusing and avoids unnecessary stumbling blocks. At the end of the day, it's all about life and death, and since someone is going to die regardless, that's sort of the goal of the game. The film doesn't go out of its way to make the inevitable more complicated with too much human reality. Russell's reappearance is particularly welcome. Her soft-spoken assurance has stood out in her film career thus far for its uncommon sincerity. On the one hand, she's an unexpected heroine since she's not as rash as our traditional heroes. On the other hand, it's precisely this quality that makes her such a captivating film presence. The plain, inescapable truth that most of the characters, practically all of them young people, will have to die is what eventually gives Tournament of Champions whatever power it has, which, for some, will be minimal. Over and over again, and again, and again. Several times while watching these films, I was reminded of the early aughts franchise Final Destination, which is lower on gameplay and higher on the undistilled existential terror of the era, but similar to the Escape Room films in its sense of the inevitable being inflicted prematurely on people far too young to die so ruthlessly. The ease with which these characters rush through the work of finding clues, figuring things out, and escaping all of it would be plainly and unforgivably wacky if the premise didn't more or less steamroll through these distractions with the force of its foregone conclusions. Because someone has to die in this moment, it'll have to be someone else the next time. The film kills off its people one by one with a bizarre series of joyless contraptions, with a relish that had to equal whoever is watching disasters unfold from the safety of a control room we never see. But someone has to be flipping the switch that turns everything up for the sake of it, cueing the quicksands, electric currents, and emotional torment. Tournament of Champions has its limitations as a thriller. Except for the ending, its ambitions toward some wider feeling of conspiracy are simplistic, predictable, and, mercifully, not overplayed. The film works well as a pure dilemma fest, resetting the clock scene every scene and making the joy of surviving purposely fleeting. The suspense is effective. Even if the movie becomes a little old, watching these folks figure things out just in the nick of time, except in the cases of the ones who run out of time, doesn't grow old. It's not a particularly good film. But, unlike many others, it understands what it is. My rating for this movie will be 3 out of 5. Thank you for watching our video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.